So, welcome everyone to our Healthy Homes class. We're really glad you're here and that you're taking time out of your day to spend with us and to learn with us. So, just a disclaimer to get started that this presentation is informational purposes only. Our intention tonight is to educate and empower by exposing the link between the harmful toxins in our everyday products and our health. So, we are not doctors, we are not scientists, we are mothers, we are friends. And we're excited to share with you what we've learned tonight. And what we're sharing is stuff we've learned through research. And I know that when I first heard this, it was really surprising, really shocking, but I'm glad that I learned it. And it's made having this information has made really great positive changes in my life and in the lives of lots of people that I know who have learned this as well. So we want to share that with you guys tonight.
Hello. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So the things here that you see on the screen are the things we're going to talk about tonight. And I want you to know, first off, that this is not a fear-based presentation. We are all on a journey of learning, and we want to do better because we know better. We can't go back and change the past, but we can make changes that will affect the future. Isn't that exciting? You have the power to change the future. If that's not empowering, I don't know what is. So we are going to, first of all, hear myself and Joanna and Rebecca share our stories. We're going to share why this topic is so important to us. We're going to talk about toxic chemicals. What are they? Where are they? How they affect us? And what we can do about them. As we're going through this session, if names of family or friends come to mind that you think would benefit from this type of class, write their names down so you don't forget. And I want you to reach out to them and share with them what you've learned tonight, and then invite them to attend this workshop with you on Saturday. We're going to be doing it again, just the exact same class. We just wanted to provide some options for people. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself first. My name is Jennifer, and for those of you who don't know, Rebecca is my sister. My husband Jason and I have 4 kids. You can see them there in the photo on the left. And those kids are the most important thing in the world to me, and I want them to have the best future possible, just like any of us moms. I feel like one of the ways that I can do that is by making our home environment as safe as I can and teaching them how to take care of their health. I've always been very health conscious. I guess our parents were very much that way. And when I moved out on my own and starting taking care of my own place, I used a lot of natural cleaning methods. I used vinegar and baking soda. I don't know, I just naturally went that way. But I did use a lot of other products that I didn't know had ingredients in them that were harmful to me. And as I began to learn about those ingredients, I became very frustrated. I distinctly remember a day I was standing in the store aisle for a very long time. I'd been scanning products and reading ingredients, and I was feeling like there was nothing in the store that I could buy that was safe for my family. And that's when Young Living entered the picture for me. My siblings had been talking to me about Young Living for some time, and I just didn't feel like I could jump on board. But since then I have, and I'm so glad that I did. Honestly, I don't agonize in the store aisles anymore. The products that I need come right to my door each month, and it's so much easier. And I love knowing that the products that I'm using with my family are safe. So that's my story. I'm gonna pass it over to my friend Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. I'm married to Kevin and we have 2 kids. I've been kind of slowly transitioning toxins out of my house for the last 1.5 years, and it gives me such peace of mind to know that I'm no longer slathering chemicals that are harmful to me on my face for makeup or on my body or using it in my laundry soap. My son used to get a rash from laundry soap all the time, even when we were using so-called natural ones that we would get at Costco in big, huge bottles. But he doesn't get that anymore. My washing machine cleans better because it doesn't have so many fillers going into it. And I really just feel peace of mind in taking the harmful things out of my house and knowing that I have the confidence of choosing products that will be helpful to us rather than harmful. So I'll pass it over to Rebecca.
So for me, I remember it was 2017 and somebody had talked about this chemical-free home class, this healthy home class they had listened to, and where they learned about how the products we were using weren't safe for our health and for our families. And I was like, what is she even talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I have no idea. And so I had been with Young Living for a few years and had already learned how to be using their oils for health and wellness, but I had absolutely no idea that the products on the shelf at the grocery store and at the drugstore and at Walmart actually had harmful ingredients in it. I had no idea that they were affecting our health. And so as soon as I heard that, I thought, you know what, I need to look into this. And I know if, same as Jen and Joanna, we want what's best for our kids and for our own health. And so as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is really, really important. And so, we've been on this journey of sharing this with other people and just telling people, because this is not common knowledge that people have. And so for me, we've actually seen some real health shifts in our home since pulling toxins out. And I had no idea that toxins were actually what was causing these illnesses until they were gone. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. This isn't happening anymore. The spring would come and my husband's allergies weren't flaring up anymore, or, different things that we'd have happen in the fall. Well, that's not happening anymore. And we actually notice now when we go to like a hotel or like an Airbnb or something, and we're sleeping in the sheets that have regular laundry detergent and they clean with other, the regular kind of clean stuff, we get stuffed up, our eyes water, our nose starts running. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, like so quickly these chemicals have an effect on our body. And so anyway, that's kind of a bit of my story. Once I heard about it, I was like, you know what, I need to make a change and we need to tell people about this. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to share this with you, stuff that we've learned. And I know when I first heard it, I was like, are you serious? Like, what? So anyway, I hope you enjoy this tonight and that you get some valuable takeaways from this. So why is this an important topic? This is what kind of surprises me, is that we live in a day and age where there's lots of information out there, lots of education, lots of resources, and science is, developing and advancing all the time. And yet we're still seeing people getting sick all around us. We're seeing people get on medication younger and younger and younger. We're seeing very common household illnesses just running rampant. And it doesn't actually seem to be getting better. It seems to be getting worse. And so it makes me think, like, why is this happening? And I even think back to when I was like in elementary school, middle school, and I think about what health was like then and what it's like now. It's so different. It's like we're living in two different places because we have way more sickness and disease around us today than we had 15, 20, 30 years ago. And so we have to actually stop and we have to say, why is this happening? What is causing this? Because if there's something we can do, then we should try and do that. And in Canada, the healthcare annual cost is $147.9 billion. That's how much money Canada spends every year on healthcare. And that's a lot of money. And so that's because people are sick. And I know we don't like to be sick. It's not fun to be in that place. And so we're going to talk about some solutions tonight. So toxin use is on the rise. That's one thing we're going to talk about. And that is one thing that is a contributing factor to people's health. So more than 80,000 toxic chemicals were permitted for use in the United States that have actually never been tested for safety with humans and like people. And the chemical industry is the largest industry in the world with more than $770 billion annual sales. Now, that is a huge industry. That's a lot of money that is going through that industry, the toxic chemical industry. So there used to be a show, and feel free to look it up. It used to be on Netflix. It's not there anymore. It's called Stink. And it actually talked about these chemicals that they're using in products that are harmful for our health. And the biggest takeaway for me from that documentary was a glimpse into the warehouse where they actually store these toxins and these chemicals. There was just barrels and barrels and barrels of chemicals that they pick and choose, and they add them to the shampoos and the hand soaps. And I thought, that is disgusting. That is really gross. And so this is something we're going to look at tonight. How are these toxins actually affecting us, and where are they?
So this here is a list of products probably almost all of us use almost every day, that they have ingredients in them that are harmful to us. This may be brand new information to you, but to me, when I first heard this and read this, it was very eye-opening. So I'm not going to read all the details, but just to quickly go through the list. Perfume could be an average of 250 different chemicals, like Rebecca talked about. I'll talk a little bit more about fragrance and things later, but our shampoo, 15 different chemicals, toxic ingredients, fake tans, deodorant, body lotion, especially if you're here in Alberta and we have so dry our skin and we're using so much lotion. 32 different chemicals are in those, nail polishes, hairspray, our makeup, eyeshadow, blush, foundation, and our lipstick. Each one of these things, and you can see such a variety when you look at the store. You can see products that are made and don't cost very much, probably don't have very good quality ingredients in them. So that's often a good sign right there. So if we just look at the number of chemicals that are in the products that we use every day, it can be a little daunting, but that's why we're here to help you today. These toxins can build up in our bodies and cause something called body burden. I actually want you to write that term down if you're taking some notes, because I want you to look it up for yourself and read. Actually, all throughout this, I'll actually say that a few times, because I think that it's important for you to research and look these things up for yourself so that you can see what these types of things are doing to us. And so body burden is the total amount of chemicals that are present in the human body at any given time. Our bodies are designed to heal and to be healthy, and they're also designed to detox. We're equipped to be able to handle toxins that come into our body. Our liver cleans them. It's amazing, actually. They're very good at it. But what happens when there's so many ingredients and toxins coming into our system, our body becomes overwhelmed and burdened, and it just can't function the way it was designed to do any longer. And these toxins take over and they can make us sick. So just for an example, we're going to look at a few products here. Do any of these look familiar? Do you have any of these in your house? I know I did for a very long time. These photos are just to give you an idea of where these toxins are actually hiding. They are in a lot of our common household products that we buy at the store all the time. And we are spending our hard-earned money on products that are probably harming our health. Okay, we have learned, and I mean Rebecca and Joanna and I, and why we're sharing this is that we can't assume that if it is on the shelf that it's safe and that someone has tested it. To give you just a quick background, way back like 40 years ago, there were acts passed that basically said that if a chemical does not have specific studies showing that it's dangerous, it will be considered safe. So you might sometimes come across that acronym. It's GRAS, and it's generally regarded as safe unless proven otherwise. And that is pretty much the state that we're in today. The chemicals found in these products, even in small amounts, do interfere with our health. And so it's time to take a step back and to think, Are the products that I use every day in my home safe for my health? And so again, it's important for you to do some research and not just assume that because it's on the shelf, it must be safe. I actually had a couple of articles. I find when I start looking for things, it's actually very easy to come across information like articles. This was in CTV. Infants exposed to cleaning supplies are more susceptible to asthma. Oh, my first question is then why are we even using this stuff? If it's harmful to infants, it's probably harmful to adults too. And this is another one about toxic ingredients in our makeup. And I just don't understand why we continue to use these ingredients in products that we use every day in our homes. I think it's very sad. And so I recommend you look some of this up for yourself. It's not difficult to find evidence of these things as being harmful, and it's quite concerning. So Rebecca is going to take us a little deeper to look at what some of these ingredients are doing to our bodies.
This just makes me think back to like the 90s, 2000s, when, you know, as young people, we're just slathering glittery lotions on and sweet smelling fun stuff, and had absolutely no idea that it was possibly negative for our health. And so I'm just like amazed that those things were in the market and hit the market, and nobody told us that this was not good for us. So what we're going to talk about here, endocrine disrupting chemicals. So a lot of these toxic ingredients in our products are affecting our hormones. So the endocrine disrupting chemicals, what they do is they mimic hormones in our body, and then our body can't do what it needs to do. So one little example is that our cells communicate with each other in two ways, electrical and hormonal. And so they also have like a lock and key system. I kind of think of it like a Lego block that can click together. And so a cell will say, oh, I need some estrogen, and an endocrine disrupting chemical that's shaped like estrogen will click onto our cell, and then the cell will try to do what it needs to do, but it can't, because this actually wasn't estrogen that clicked on here. It's a disrupting chemical. And so it's really easy to throw off hormones and our endocrine system, which we're going to talk about, our endocrine system, and all that it controls and affects in our body. So the endocrine system here, this is a little bit of bio recap. It includes many glands in our body. So pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal glands, and even the reproductive organs. And so that system communicates with hormones. So we need our cells functioning, we need our cells connecting with hormones, not these toxic chemicals. So look at the list here. These are all different body functions that are controlled and affected by the endocrine system. So pancreas, growth, hunger, fatigue, sleep patterns, body temperature, attachment behavior, childbirth, kidneys, protein production, even immune system, our energy, hormone production, cortisol production, which is it helps us regulate stress, digestion, blood sugar levels. Like when we look at this list, this is a really big list of like so many different areas in our life. And we all know that if we don't sleep well, we don't function well anyway. So with the sleep patterns off, it's also affecting thirst, fatigue, blood pressure, like so many different aspects of life that can be affected by these chemicals. And I know for me, I don't want those things happening just because of toxins in my product. So if there's something we can be doing to help our bodies function as best they can, then we want to be doing that. So here's another concept, chemical cocktail. So the concept here is that all by itself, one toxic ingredient may not be that harmful, but when it mixes with another ingredient, it could be harmful. So think about bleach and ammonium. We're not actually supposed to mix those, right? But if you remember the picture of the body burden where there was like 15 ingredients in our eyeshadow that could be toxic, like we put on deodorant, then we use our hairspray and we put on our body lotion, we do dishes, we clean the windows. Like think about all the ingredients that get mixed. Anything that gets on our skin is in our bloodstream in 26 seconds. Then it's in the bloodstream and circulating through the body. And so it's important. The more chemicals we can eliminate, the better. And so I know for me that when I first heard this, I thought, oh my goodness, like, where do you even start? Like, what do I even do with this information? And we can't change what's already happened, but we can change the next steps that we take. And if you think about this, we can't control a lot of the things that go on around us in this world, but we can change what happens in our home. So we are the gatekeepers of our home. We decide what comes in. We can't, change what happens outside, but we can change what happens inside. And so that's actually up to us and the decisions we make on what products we bring into our homes.
Yeah, I really, really like that, Rebecca, because we can do something about it, which is great. So the first one I'm going to talk about here is something called fragrance, which is in almost everything. And so it's so hard to juggle this one sometimes. Rebecca mentioned already a documentary or film called Stink. If you at all can get your hands on it, I recommend watching it. It's so good. When I was first learning about these things, I was in a mall and I saw this kiosk where they were selling like chocolate lotions and skincare products, which were very expensive, but it claimed it was all natural and all this stuff. And so I asked the guy behind the counter, who apparently had developed it himself, I said, well, on the list of ingredients, it says fragrance. I said, can you tell me what that is? And he said, well, it's just the smell of the product. I said, but what is it? Like, what is that? Can you tell me what it is? And he could not tell me what it was. And I thought, here's a product that you're telling me is natural and safe, but it has fragrance in it and you can't tell me what that is. So I don't think you can safely tell me that it's safe for me if you don't even know what it is that's in there. So the thing with fragrance is that it's usually, it's a what do they call it? Just a blanket statement that they use for, it could be a complex mixture of a dozen chemicals, and there's some 3,000 chemicals that can be used as fragrances. And they actually don't have to tell us what it is because it's a trade secret. And so again, I encourage you to look up fragrance for yourself and see what's actually in there. And I'm not kidding when I say it's in everything, which is so hard. So another big list, and fragrance is actually on here, is it's called the Dirty Dozen list, which was put together by the David Suzuki Foundation. And I love this list because for me, it really simplifies things. It gives me, if you just Google it, you can look it up or screenshot. Don't feel like you have to write all these down because they are big. But they list these as the top 12 ingredients to avoid, as they are extremely harmful to our health. And so I encourage you to look at your shampoo bottles, your dish soap, your deodorant, and see if any of these ingredients are on the list on your products that you're using. There are a couple of, I'm just going to look at this list quickly. See, fragrance was on there. Another really big one to watch for is sodium lauryl sulfate, which is often found in a lot of shampoos and stuff because it's what gives it foaming. Like when you wash your hair, it gets all foamy. It's often in dish soap, any kind of hand soaps even. And so, I mean, just looking at this list, it's a carcinogen, causes nervous system toxicity. But what they'll claim and what they'll say is that, well, it's such a small amount that it doesn't really hurt a person. But there's no way to really know. And if we're using it when we wash our hair, and then we're using it in our soap, and we're using it when we wash the dishes, like it's in everything. And so this is a great resource. I highly recommend taking a look at this. A couple of other good resources that I would recommend. There's an app that you can download onto your phone. It's called Think Dirty. And when I use this a lot, you can just scan a barcode on a product and it'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 and kind of tell you how safe it is. That one is super easy. Sometimes I find it's a little tricky. I think they have a lot of American products, but sometimes the Canadian ones. So if it doesn't come up when you scan the barcode, just search for the name because sometimes it'll still come up. And another one is the Environmental Working Group, ewg.org. And you can search ingredients on there and find out what those ingredients could possibly be doing to your health. Okay, Rebecca.
So the next couple of slides, we're actually going to go through some different things that statistics that have been changing over the last couple of decades and evidence of what these toxins are actually doing to our health. And this one here is a really significant one. For me, when I saw this, I was like, oh man. So this is the infertility rate. Back in 1984, it was 5%. By 1992, it was 8.5% of women between 18 and 44 were having trouble with infertility. And by 2010, it was up to 15.7%. So we're actually 11 years beyond that now. And I couldn't find a more recent statistic, but if you just look at the graph here, how it's increasing, you can imagine where it's going to be in 2020 or 2021. And I know for me, most of us probably know people who've struggled with infertility and the struggle that is on a family and for couples. I know that this number is not getting any better. And I think about my own kids who are teenagers, but in 10, 15 years, if they want to be having children, what's this statistic going to be like further down the road? That if there's something we can do right now to help this statistic, them not become one of the statistics, then that's something I need to consider, because I don't want that decision to be made for them. I want them to be able to make that decision if they want to have kids. And so this is a really just a staggering statistic, because I know the numbers are climbing and it's not getting any better. Here's another one. And a lot of us know people personally, I'm going to say most of us, if not all of us, who have been affected by cancer. So 40 years ago, it was 1 in 20 women would be diagnosed with breast cancer. And it then rose to 1 in 8. And we know that number is just climbing. So in 2015, there were 900,000 new cases of cancer. The statistic is 2 in 5 Canadians will develop it in their lifetime. And we're seeing people of all ages being diagnosed with cancer. And we know that it's an ugly thing. And one genetic specialist actually said that cancer is only 5 to 8% genetic. Because sometimes people say, oh, it runs in the family. Well, you know what? Only 5 to 8% run in the family. That's not a very high percentage. The other 92 to 95% are due to environmental factors, environmental toxins. And so that's a huge percentage based on our environmental exposures. And so that does not have to be our story. That does not have to be an end result or a struggle that we come across in our life. If there's something we can be doing to help prevent this and help our bodies be as strong and as healthy as they can, then those are decisions that we have to make.
Mm-hmm. So after the things that we're learning about how toxins can wreak havoc on our bodies, I have to ask, is it any wonder that things like stress and anxiety and depression are at an all-time high in our society? And what do they tell us that depression is? Depression is a chemical imbalance, right? So what if it could be as simple as that? And I'm not saying that eliminating toxins from your life is the cure for depression, but what if simply removing products with harmful ingredients from our everyday lives could make a difference for some people? Just think about that. Like I was mentioning earlier, our bodies are so beautiful and complex, but we have to take care of them. I think that some of these health issues that are so prevalent in our society, like depression and anxiety. And Rebecca has a list here: allergies, eczema, asthma, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, dizziness, painful and irregular menstruation, constipation, heartburn, rashes, earaches, achy joints and back, and just pain in general. I think some of these issues have become so common that we're led to believe that it's just a normal part of life. But what if they're not? What if they don't have to be? What if we had the power to improve our lives just by eliminating these toxins from our life? Personally, I think it's worth a shot.
So what can we do about all these toxic chemicals that are in our products and in our homes and surrounding us? We can ditch them. We do not have to use these products that are causing allergies and asthma and disrupting our body's health. We don't have to use them, which is amazing. And we switch. We can switch to clean products, healthy products that not only support our body, but they help our bodies function and do what they were designed to do. So this is one thing to think about. So after we're talking about the chemicals and the ingredients and our cleaners and in our homes, think about when we actually clean our homes, we spray with our Windex, we use our Lysol wipes, our Lysol toilet bowl cleaner, and the Pine Sol floors. Like, we're actually cleaning, wiping everything down with chemicals. Doorknobs, floors, bathrooms, counters, all the things. So we're actually putting toxic chemicals on all the surfaces in our home when we clean. And I'm like, that is so ironic, because we're actually putting toxic products, toxic chemicals when we think it's clean. So we get used to the smell and the fragrance of clean. Well, that is not actually the smell of clean. And so that's one thing I've learned. And now when I actually am in an environment where there is any kind of fake fragrance, my nose can really tell. I didn't notice it before. I loved the bounce sheets. I loved the floor cleaner smells. I love the Windex. I've learned that's actually not really good for me. And some of the worst things we can have in our home are actually like Febreze or plugins that freshen your home. A lot of those actually just kind of like turn off the sense of smell in your nose. So you actually can't even smell the stink or the problem. And so it's not like it actually eliminated it. It just turned off your nose. So you can't even smell it. So that's just not even cool. Okay. So enter Young Living. So Young Living they released a new mantra this summer, and I really, really liked it. And it says, a healthy home for each of us, a healthy world for all of us. And that makes me think about, companies that we see around the world today. A lot of them really don't care about the environment or the world or, what they're doing to the soil or the air, those kinds of things. But Young Living actually does. They actually leave things better than when they found it, which is amazing. And I love being a part of a company that actually cares about our environment and cares about our health. I know that not all companies, actually, I'm going to say most companies don't care about our health. If they did, they wouldn't be putting ingredients in it that actually made us sick. And so that's just one thing to consider. And that's why I love Young Living, is that they're providing the products for us to keep our houses clean and giving us what we need to keep our bodies healthy.
Yeah, that's so good. Young Living is the world leader in essential oils. They first got started 27 years ago, and I think that's a great track record. It originally started as just an essential oil company, but it has developed into a lifestyle company. Young Living has over 600 products that are all toxin-free and essential oil infused. They really do make things easy for us. As I shared it in my story, I feel really relieved knowing that there's a company that would have products that I can trust. And that really means a lot to me. Young Living has so many possibilities. So on this graph, you can kind of see they have products in from makeup to how home cleaning, personal care, supplements, seedlings, which is their baby line. They have a whole natural health products and also a business opportunity, which is so fantastic. Gary Young, who is the founder of Young Living, was quoted saying, "I don't make products for profit. I make products for purpose." And I believe this wholeheartedly. Young Living puts their seed to seal quality guarantee on all of their products, and they believe in giving back to their members. This is not just a company that is on the market to make money.
So when we think about how we're spending our money, we all spend money, and we actually, Canadians on average, spend about $1,600 a year on products that are potentially making us sick. Canadians spend approximately $200 to $300 a year on cleaning supplies, and hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars on sick care, different medicines or treatments, that kind of thing. And so we're all spending our money already. And so transfer buying is the idea of just changing where we spend it. And I know for me, Young Living has really simplified things. I buy groceries, I buy toilet paper, gas, and things from Young Living. I can't even tell you the last time I bought something from Shoppers Drug Mart or Walmart in their like personal care product aisles, which is where I used to shop. And I'm not actually buying sick care products anymore. Like we used to have to buy different things for allergies and sinus things and back pain and all these different things that we're just actually not even buying anymore. I actually rarely ever buy Kleenex for runny noses, and I usually just buy it because sometimes when company comes, they ask for Kleenex. But it's not actually something that my family really even uses anymore. And so that's just something to think in mind. We're already spending our money already. And so and think about this, pretend your dollar is a vote, that when you buy something, you're voting on a company. So when we buy shampoo or toothpaste, we're casting our vote. This is who I support. This is who I'm going to invest in. And think about who do we even know who that company is or what those people are actually doing with the money? Like, yes, we know some companies do great things in the world and have different foundations and stuff, but we don't know what most of the companies do. And so that's one thing I do like about Young Living is that we know what they do with their money. And we actually know that Young Living does really amazing things with their company. They actually have a foundation called the Young Living Foundation where they help people around the world. They have 5 different missions and foundations that they support around the world that are changing lives. They're saving lives and they're bettering lives. So it's a beautiful thing. That was not in my notes. So, oh yeah. So for me, just think about this, that we're spending our money that we make, we work hard for our money. And if we're spending them on things that are actually making us sick, then we actually have to buy sick care products. We're actually spending more than we need to. And so that's just something to keep in mind. When you're buying, you're casting a vote. So who are you voting for? That's a concept that I hadn't really thought about before, but I think there's value in thinking about it. So when you get started with Young Living, there's a couple different entry points. You can start with oils to use to help support health and wellness. They have several different starter bundles. These aren't even all of them, but the best way to start is with the premium starter bundle because it has such common oils for household use. Or if you want to switch out your cleaning products to the Thieves line, they have a whole household cleaning line that is amazing. It smells great. It works. And their products last a really, really, really long time. So for me, before Young Living, I was, I'd buy stuff from the store, but I'd also try and make some of my own stuff because trying to eliminate toxins or that kind of thing. But it often was just messy, or it didn't work, or it actually ended up costing way more than it should have in the first place. And so Young Living just keeps things simple, and their products actually work. And for me, that was a big deal because, if you like to shop at the health food store or Farm Boy or, healthier stores for your products, you want them to work, because at those stores, you're going to pay more than at Walmart or the grocery store. And I found for me that a lot of those products weren't working. And so it actually kind of gives like natural products a bad name, because people think, oh, well, it's natural, it's not really going to work. Well, you know what? That is not the case with the Thieves line and with these oils. They do work. And Young Living really invests a lot in their research and development and the science behind all of this, that it's just a really great product that they put together. And with Young Living, everything is essential oil infused. And so you're boosting your health. So for example, their household cleaner here, it's really great. Oh yeah, it's in the picture. Anyway, it actually smells really great. And like, I'm spraying it, washing my floors, and then I walk in my bare feet and I'm like, I don't even care. I can totally walk on this. It's not harming my health. Or I'm spraying things and I'm inhaling it and I'm like, great, I'm boosting my immune system. It's got lemon, it's got thieves. These are things that are good for my health. So when I'm actually cleaning my house, I am boosting my immune system and supporting my body instead of causing more stress or harm in my body. And so for me, it's a beautiful thing. So to get an account with Young Living, it's absolutely free, which is great because a lot of companies, there's membership fees these days. And as a member, you automatically get 24% off retail prices, which is amazing. And when you're a Young Living member and you're on our team, you have a community that comes along with your membership, which is so fun. So we do classes, continued learning, and we share our experiences with each other. We do this journey together, which is so much fun. And actually, when I first joined Young Living, I had absolutely no idea how this would change my life because of the relationships that have happened, the friendships that have formed, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Somebody once asked me, how would you feel if no one had ever introduced you to Young Living? And I almost cried right there on the spot, because I was like, oh my goodness, think all the people who'd be missing in my life. Think of those nasty things I'd still be cleaning in my home and washing my hair with. And I was just like, oh no, man, like this is it. This is the way to go. It's great. So the community is amazing. And there's no monthly minimum. It's actually an annual minimum. You just have to make a little purchase once a year and you get to keep your account. And if you don't make a purchase within a year, your account just goes inactive. And so it's not a big deal. So this is what I do. And this is a really popular program for Young Living members. It's called Essential Rewards. This is completely optional. When you have a Young Living account, you do not have to do this at all. But if you want to switch out products in your home to toxin free, this really is the best way to go, because you're going to get a discount on shipping. You're going to qualify for loyalty gifts. You're going to get monthly promos. Sometimes, depending on what you order, you can get free products. And you get different product bundles available to you as well. That's not available to just regular members. And so for me, like Young Living designed this because as we're transitioning to toxin-free and chemical-free home, they've made it easy. You can just order a little bit at a time, switch out a couple things every month, and you're going to get points back that you can spend towards product like cash, and you're going to get some really good prices and discounts. And so Essential Rewards is completely customizable. You choose the day that it arrives, you choose what you want. You can change it several times through the month before the order actually processes. I think most people probably do. It's pretty fun. And it's just a really great way to ditch those toxins and switch to clean products. And so for me, it's really a great way to go. So that is our Healthy Homes class. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you felt like somebody's name came to your mind during this presentation, reach out to them. Tell them some of the things you learned tonight. Look up those words Jen said to look up: body burden, fragrance, and look for yourself. Endocrine disrupting chemicals. Look that up. That's a big one. And if you feel like this is something you want to do with switching out some products, if you feel like, you know what, I got some health challenges in my home that maybe this might be the answer I'm looking for, or somebody you know. We will be running this again on Saturday. So if you want to catch it again or invite some friends or family to watch it with you on Saturday, you're more than welcome to. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for joining us today.